I'm in a BMW E92 M3 GTS. Next to me is an E30 M3 Roberto Ravaglia. Next to that is an E46 M3 CSL. And next to that is an F80 M3 CS. And we're going to have a drag race. Now, before we do, make sure you subscribe to this channel and click the bell icon to turn your notifications on so you're alerted when we make a new upload. And also check us out on Instagram at carwow. Okay, you done that? Right, let's do this. The manual car got good launch. Oh, I'm going a bit sideways. That CS has gone. Oh my gosh, it's gone. And it's increasing its lead. And that is it. That is a massive difference between all the four cars. Anyone who complains about going to turbo power for the M3 just saw the results of doing so.
So then, what exactly happened? Well, the F80 CS with its 463 litre straight-six twin-turbo did the standing quarter mile in 12.2 seconds. Next was the E92 GTS with its 450 horsepower 4.4 litre naturally aspirated V8. It struggled a bit with wheel spin, which resulted in a standing quarter mile time of 13.5 seconds. The 365 horsepower 3.2 litre straight-six E36 CSL had an even worse start. It took 14.8 seconds to do the quarter mile, which is more than a second slower than it should have been. Mind you, it still managed to destroy the 215 horsepower 2.3 litre four-cylinder E30, which, despite having an awesome start, took 17 seconds.
Now we're going to have a rolling race from 50 miles an hour, so I'm going to get up to speed, and I'm going to count the guys in. All the later cars are in drive mode in their automatic gearbox, so the E30, that's just holding it in third gear because it's a manual. So, here we go. 3, 2, 1, go! Come on, kick down! Oh my gosh! Well, this kicked down better than the E46. That F80 just took off. I think that's the end of it. That's the end of it. That was interesting. The E30 gave that E46 a run for its money. Obviously, that SMG gearbox in E46 is very slow to respond at times. So if you throw the throttle, it has to change down. It's got just a single clutch. The E30 was in gear ready to go, so it had an advantage in that respect. But the distance between them wasn't that big. This thing changed down very quickly and it was off. It was pretty tight actually with the F80. I mean, the F80 has 600 Newton meters of torque. This has 440, so it's quite a big difference. And this is only about 100 kilos lighter. So it did well. This engine did really well. That was fun.
And fun is the one thing that all these cars have in common. BMW has been making M3s for more than 30 years, and they use a variety of engines and transmissions, but every one has been a great drive. So now I'm going to look back at how these cars have evolved, and naturally, I'm going to start at the beginning of the story. The original M3 appeared in 1986. However, the car I have here is a slightly more recent model from 1989. It's a special edition named after the famous racing driver Roberto Ravaglia, and is one of just 25 cars to be sold in the UK.
So here I am in the E30 M3. I mean, this car has always been a bit of a hero for me. And the question is it a case of never meet your heroes because they'll disappoint you, or I'm in awe of this thing? At first, it feels very much like an old car, but then the E30 is very old. So the steering, look, it's very loose. Not much happening. It's a bit weird having the dogleg gearbox. So first gear is down here, second gear's up there, third's there. So you can go easily between second and third. But it's a bit unusual at first. You just have to figure your way around the gearbox. The four-cylinder engine doesn't feel that powerful, 215 horsepower. What's the handling like though? BMW put their motorsport knowledge into this car. Actually, It's not bad at all. You can definitely tell what's going on. It feels loose, it feels old, it feels like it's done 82,000 miles, which is exactly what it has done. But I like it. I like it more than I thought I would. This is a bit tricky, this bit. How does it go with this? Trail braking. Oh my God, that's good. Trail brake it and it gets it turning. There we go again. What a car. It's actually surprised me. This is where it started. This set the tone and they certainly carried it on.
After the E30, the next M3 was the E36. It was the first to feature a 6-cylinder engine and was built from 1992 to 1999. Unfortunately, I didn't have one available for this test. So let's move on to the E46, which arrived in 2000. The car I have here is actually a limited edition CSL from 2003. It's one of just 500 sold in the UK and is lighter and more powerful than the standard M3.
Okay, so I know we've skipped a generation, the E36, and we're straight into the E46. But what a car to go into, the M3 CSL. Now back in the day, I actually went on the original unveil of this car and they gave the journalists a gift. It was a scale replica of the carbon fibre roof, and that is one of the things that has helped reduce the weight of this car by 110 kilos over the normal M3. They've also done stuff to the engine, changed the valves, the camshafts. That's increased the power of the 3.2 straight six to a rather healthy 365 horsepower. Also, it sounds better as well. Got a freer flowing exhaust. And this thing is an absolute delight. Perfect 50-50 weight distribution. So much feel through this Alcantara steering wheel. This is just an unbelievable car. Absolutely glorious. The Achilles heel is the SMG semi-automatic gearbox, single clutch. It just chucks the cogs home and they just like jolt you around. It's brutal on launch, it works on launch, but for the rest of the driving, not so much. However, that is my only complaint, because really, this has to be one of my favourite cars ever made in the entire world ever. I am loving the hell out of it. It's an absolute hooligan. The suspension is firm, but it's fair in that kind of brilliant BMW way where they sometimes just get it right, and in this car they have. I would love to own this. Yeah, I want one. I so want one.
The E46 stayed in production until 2006 and was replaced by the E92. This went on sale the following year and this time featured an 8-cylinder engine.
Okay then, so now in the M3 GTS, this is a 2011 car, and it's a very rare thing. Only 15 came to the UK out of 150. It's more of a race car for the road, even more so than the CSL. This time we've got a V8 engine. It's a reworked version of the normal V8 out of the M3, the E92, and it's got more power, so 450, and it loves its revs, and it sounds awesome. What an engine. The throttle response is just to die for. I mean, it just stays so flat, completely flat through the corners. It's 75 kilos lighter than the standard E92. Got a roll cage in the back. Helps stiffen things up even more. And you can adjust the spoiler if you want to on the back for more downforce or less, so higher top speed. Probably too extreme really, unless you just want it for track days or just to collect. I mean, it's very expensive and super desirable. It's worth about £200,000 now, so I've got to be very careful with it. And what an improvement this dual clutch automatic is over that single clutch SMG in the E46. It's just worlds apart. It's a brilliant, brilliant gearbox. Super responsive, very quick. Just lets you drive the pants off this thing. Just no hesitation in change-up. Things definitely do get better with age, and that's one thing, the gearbox, for sure.
But would the M3 carry on getting better? Well, we found out in 2014 with the arrival of the current model.
So here we are then, in the present day, with the F80 M3. And it's quick! So, we've gone from the V8 naturally aspirated to a straight 6 3-litre twin turbo. It's a blooming brutal engine, totally brutal. Doesn't sound as good as that V8, doesn't have the throttle response, but it's got more torque, quite a lot more, 600 Newton meters in this, because this is a limited edition CS. It's quite expensive, £86,000, £20,000 more than the competition pack. And you do get some extra bits and pieces, so you've got carbon fibre bonnet and boot lid, saves in total about 10 kilos, this over the competition pack. Bit more horsepower, 460, same dual clutch gearbox, very good. And it's got rated suspension over the normal M3. So it just feels sharp, it's actually better balanced and a little less skittish actually. It's very easy to control. It does like to go sideways as well, of course. If I was buying this car, an M3, I wouldn't have this one, the CS, even though it's more collectible. I just have the competition pack, thank you very much.
But if you were going to have an M3, which one would you pick? Leave us a comment in the box below to tell us which is your favourite version of BMW's classic performance car.